Me? I'm Falanu, House Lalu, as if that matters here. I'm the only alchemist in Skingrad. Not much business here, but I can't go back to Morrowind. It's just like anywhere else in the Empire. By the way, do you happen to know what the fine is here in Cyrodiil for necrophilia? Just asking. Let's assume... no. That's nothing compared to Morrowind, thanks!
Hello and welcome back. In today's video, we'll be comparing the new voice lines for Falanu Hlalu, as Dunmer in the Oblivion remake are gifted new voice actors and therefore new takes on old lines, where we find she shares her disturbing penchant for necrophilia. Also, to add to the intrigue, we shall be delving into her dark past, which takes some detective work, or digging up, if you will. First, to introduce the character, Falanu Hlalu is a dark elf alchemist and proprietor of all things alchemical in Skingrad. She sells alchemical apparatus, potions, and ingredients, and she also, as you may know, when you meet her for the first time, introduces herself and provides some intriguing background info.
Me? I'm Falanu, House Lalu, as if that matters here.
When asked about Skingrad, she will enlighten you further, asking her own disturbing question.
I'm the only alchemist in Skingrad. Not much business here, but I can't go back to Morrowind. It's just like anywhere else in the Empire. By the way, do you happen to know what the fine is here in Cyrodiil for necrophilia? Just asking.
We're then given 3 options to reply, being, I have no idea.
Thanks anyway.
Otherwise, is it the first offence?
Let's assume no.
Then that's at least 500 gold.
That's nothing compared to Morrowind. Thanks. Farewell.
For the player, this brings up a flurry of pertinent ponderings, such as Falanu stating a fine of 500 gold is nothing compared to Morrowind. That insinuates she's not only previously committed said crime, but been caught and paid the fine as well, which makes sense as to possibly why she left her homeland. It's easy to imagine corpse fiddlers are not really good for House Lalu's reputation. Speaking of moving around to hide her dark secret, this is not the first store that Falanu has set up in Cyrodiil. How do we know? Well, it could be a massive coincidence, but Falanu runs, as you know, all things alchemical. Curiously, a ruined building bearing the same all things alchemical sign as her shop in Skingrad can be found on the southeastern shore of Lake Rumer. The ruined building is east of a memorial cave on the Red Ring Road, and the burned-out remnants feature a well, barrels and chests, with some minor respawning loot, and most curiously, or ironically, I should say, 3 resist fire potions, 2 potions of insulation, and 1 strong potion of insulation that seems to have survived the fire due to their nature, which then begs the question, how did this establishment burn down? Was it alchemy gone wrong? Angry townsfolk running Hlalu out of her business, in which she escaped and set up a new store in Skingrad? Perhaps the fire was caused by friction. Speaking of Falanu's questionable alchemical past, did you know she holds hidden dialogue only unlocked when certain criteria are met? As an expert in alchemy,
Yes.
Falanu will give you a hint as to where you can learn more about your newly found Nirn root after discovering a sample.
I don't know. Never seen that sort of route before. Head over to the Westfield Inn and talk to Sindarian. He could identify it for you, I'm sure.
Which is actually funny, because at the start of her conversation, she stated,
I'm the only alchemist in Skingrad.
and clearly she's not the only alchemist in Skingrad, as she refers you to Sindarian.
What brings you to my little home underground?
I guess she had other things on her mind. Moreover, learning of her dark past. Once you've read Modern Heretics or spoken with Yulene Hlurvu about Cheydinhall,
You worship the 9 divines, perhaps. Have they ever helped or harmed you? Of course not. Now, worship a Daedra Lord, and you get effects. Bad ones, of course, but clear and measurable effects. Be seeing you.
Or Trayvon the Red Guard.
Daedra cults aren't necessarily evil, of course. In nearby Morrowind, for example, they worship Daedra in the temple. The Azura Shrine north of town, up Lake Arius way, for instance. I know a dark elf there. Nothing evil about him.
A new
What do you
Daedra
want?
cults conversation topic will appear. When you speak to Falanu about this, she will mark Sanguine's shrine on your map with the words,
What makes you think I'd know anything about that? But it just so happens I've run into some Sanguine worshippers up in the Imperial Reserve, a long way north-northwest of Skingrad. Can't give you any better directions, unfortunately. Traveled mostly at night with a guide and didn't see much on the way.
Staying on brand for Hlaalu, the Daedra Sanguine is the Daedric prince of lust, perversity, and unnatural sexual relations. Anything in excess is his motto. And his shrine and worshippers can be found in all states of revelry north of Skingrad in the Imperial Reserve, making sense as to why Falanu would seek out her like-minded kin.
Have you come to revel in the glory that is the Shrine of Sanguine? It is a place of celebration for us. We dance, we make love. Would you speak with Sanguine? Of course you won't. Go on about your dreary existence. The Lord Sanguine has no interest in one such as yourself. Go then.
It all feels good. It's all fun. Why not?
Unsurprisingly, the other residents of Skingrad have their suspicions about the new resident Falanu, as if we follow her on her daily schedule, she can be found loitering around the graveyard a little too long, and they will comment.
Maybe it's just me, but I find Falanu Hlaalu really odd. And I've seen him hanging around the graveyard with a strange smile on his face.
While others might say,
There's just something wrong with that guy. And he has an odd smell about him.
I'd stay away from him if I were you. There's something very wrong with that man.
And finally, one of the greatest songs dedicated to the departed doting Dunmer by Young Scrolls is As Lively as They Come, which is linked on screen, accompanied by another video by yours truly. I hope you enjoy.
Let me do that one again. What's the fine for necrophilia in this part of Tamriel? What's the fine for necrophilia in this part of Tamriel?